Greetings comrades and welcome to the new video. Typically on this channel you don't see a lot of seafood recipes, and this is because I don't prepare a lot of seafood. Yeah, that's the reason. And here in Bulgaria we don't have the food culture to eat enough seafood, in my opinion. Let's take Japan. They have culture of eating nice seafood. We here don't have. Maybe if you live on the seaside, you eat some fish, you eat some mussels and maybe some stuff like that, because they're very easy to find. But here in the deep part of the country, most people, I would say, especially the people with low income, they don't eat a lot of seafood because it can get expensive. And recently I started eating some seafood and preparing some seafood, and this is a thing that I learned to prepare a while ago. It's a very nice seafood sauce, or just seafood basically prepared, and I found that it's very nice to eat it with some pasta. But if you find some other uses of this seafood sauce, I should call it, you can write in the comments maybe some propositions. And with that said, let's see how this very easy to prepare pasta sauce is prepared and how the pasta after that is assembled. And I hope you enjoy this video. I mean, this is not the very traditional Slavic thing, but again, I'm the Slav chef and I prepared it, so I consider it Slav. Okay, time to learn how to prepare seafood with me for the first time, and of course I'll start with an onion, because every recipe starts with an onion. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, every savory recipe. I don't imagine apple pie with onions. But if you caramelize them, why don't? Okay, I stopped speaking bullshit. We should cut our onions into cubes. After that we have one lemon, which we use the juice from. I use that modern juicer from the year 3000. I have some white wine from Karnobat, which is a city in Bulgaria, by the way. And I have this seafood mixed with some shrimps, mussels, meat, tentacles, etc. Also I have some random so-called nice olive oil. I have some pepper, salt and basil. Time to prepare the seafood. I add some very generous amount of olive oil, like a lot of olive oil, and I add the onions. I have like 2 big onions there, and I fry them for some time until they get translucent and soft basically. On top I add these sea creatures. I have 2 packages of sea creatures. Like, they're all types of sea creatures ready to eat. Shrimp, mussels, meat, tentacles, as I said, everything. I add some pepper and some salt on top of the sea creatures, and I will just simmer them for some time. They don't need a lot of cooking, to be honest, because they would become like very difficult to eat. They would become, like some chefs say in Bulgaria, the tentacles would become like a leather belt. Basically, you cannot eat them. And we simmer for some time on low to medium heat. Don't cook them aggressively, because as I said, we may ruin them. And at some point of time, I'll add some glugs of white wine and just cook these sea creatures into the liquid. Typically, people only boil them in salted water, but I wanted to level up that cooking method. I add some basil, some lemon juice for some taste, because we Bulgarians typically most seafood we eat it with lemons, and I guess most people do. And here I have some cornstarch with water, so I can thicken this sauce, because I want this sauce to be a little bit thicker, and I want the sauce because all the taste from the sea creatures and the things we added is in that sauce, and we want to keep it because we'll prepare a pasta. And I have some bigoli here, which I tend to use a lot recently. I prepared a tomato sauce with this bigoli a while ago, so now I will prepare sea creatures with bigoli. I boil them in some water, put the wooden stick on top so your water won't run away and make a mess. And yeah, they're basically ready at that point of time. I like them al dente because I, as you know, like to cook them a little more after that. Some olive oil into a pan. I add the bigoli. I very much enjoy to say it like that. Italians, please don't be mad at me. Bigoli! I add some pepper and some lemon juice on top of the pasta. Some dry basil, because I didn't have fresh. Again, Italians, please don't be mad at me. And I mix from like this blasphemy of a pasta for some time. And on top I add the sea creatures, because they're awesome. I add almost half of the sauce, to be honest, and I add some pasta water, because the pasta water is awesome to finish up the pasta. It has the starches, it's very nice for thickening sauces and to prepare sauces basically, so use your pasta water. But make sure to adjust the saltiness, because most pasta water is salty. Cook for some time until the the sauce is reduced and you like how the pasta looks, yeah, that's basically it. It's a very nice and easy seafood pasta. If you enjoy seafood, you can try it with whatever sea creatures you have. You can not only shrimp, only mussels, only tentacles, only whatever you like. I added all of them because I had all of them, and I finish up with some pepper and lemon juice because yeah, lemon and sea creatures are awesome, and I add some spring onions, fresh spring onions on top. Typically in Bulgaria we have this dish called midi slug, which is translated to mussels with onions, and this is some representation of it, to be honest. For a first time cooking sea creatures like that, it was very, very good. So try it if you believe in me, and if you like pasta and you like seafood, try it, and it's awesome. And my favorite sea creatures were the tentacles and from some octopus or calamari and some shrimp. The shrimp was also good. The Slav difficulty level for that, 1 out of 5, because this is not the most Slav food, but in the same time it's very easy to prepare. Just make sure not to overcook the sea creatures. That's basically it. And this was not very Slav recipe, but it was a recipe the Slav chef prepared, so it's a Slav recipe. And with that said, this was all from me, comrades, and I'll Slav you next time.